Probably wouldn't have hired Hunter to be on our board. There's just no upside to having the influence of the second most powerful person.
JP's. Oh my goodness, the truth is in your face. It's been a while since I did a reaction video to Awaken with JP. So today is your lucky day. Let's take a look at this one. Hunter's Biden partner speaks out. Oh man, this gets really interesting. Look at the pictures, how he did this thumbnail. So well done. Hunter is a figure that we're going to talk about for a long time, even after Mr. Joe passes off the scene. This is a character that has made history for not so many good reasons. Let's get to the video. Link in the description below. Let's dial in.
Hi, my name is Vlad. I work at Burisma in Ukraine. As you can probably tell by my Ukrainian accent and the scarf, it's cold in the Ukraine. I've been doing business with Joe Biden for years. Not doing business with Joe Biden for years.
Did you hit a whip?
This Devin Archer guy and his whole testimony under oath, it's a sham. It's all lies. Everything the guy says is Russian misinformation.
But he's from America, not Russia.
America, exactly. There you go. That's the source of all Russian misinformation these days. So let me just clear the air once and
Blame the Russian for everything that's going wrong in America. Even the truth is considered Russian disinformation. Got it.
for all today. We never did business with Joe Biden. We only had ties to world-renowned business mogul Hunter Biden. We never even knew that Hunter and Joe were related. We just found out.
Could you imagine if this was the thinking pattern of these businessmen that were working alongside of Joe? I think there was a video of an individual who came out, I think it was a congressman, who said, I could find this for you because I have it on my channel here. Let me pull it up. It won't take me long. Okay, there it is.
It was clear that it was part of the daily conversations that Hunter Biden had with his father. And it was, and sounded like most of the time, now President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello. And he would, talk about the way he described it several times. They asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was, what's going on your end.
The Democrats went from the laptops, Russian misinformation to Biden was having dinner with Hunter's business partners, but all they talked about was the weather. Now, when I eat dinner, it's usually at least an hour. I'm there for 3 courses. You can talk weather for maybe 5 minutes tops. But Biden's talking to a Russian billionaire about the weather the whole dinner? What's it like in Moscow? It's cold.
If you're sitting with a foreign business person and you hear the vice president's voice, that's prize enough. I mean, that's pretty impactful stuff for anyone in the world.
It's been reported, and I know that it is true, that Hunter and his brother were very close to their dad.
Absolutely.
Which I think is great.
Yep.
I've got a lot of kids. I'm very close to them, talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Never called them on speaker during a business meeting. That's weird.
That doesn't make any sense.
You get the point. Let's go back to JP.
Well, let me tell you, it came as quite a surprise to us. And there's a perfectly good explanation for all the phone transcripts where Hunter's on the phone trying to strong-arm us by saying things like, I'm sitting here right next to the big guy. We thought Hunter was referring to his erection. He always called him the big guy. And with Hunter's business acumen, anytime there's a good idea being discussed,
JP, stop. He's too much.
he gets an erection. Then you know you got to go with what Hunter's saying. His radar is going off. It's just good business and definitely worth the ungodly amount of money we paid him. And trust me, you don't want to make the big guy mad. If we would have known that Joe was Hunter's dad, we probably wouldn't have hired Hunter to be on our board. There's just no upside to having the influence of the second most powerful person.
JP's. Oh my goodness, the truth is in your face.
In the US, who then became the most powerful. Our recruiting of Hunter was based purely on merit. We regularly have headhunters scouting whorehouses and crack dens because that's where you tend to find the best talent for the energy industry. When we found Hunter passed out, video camera in one hand, dead prostitute in the other, being in a borderline coma, we knew, seat on our board. We gotta have him. We thought, well, this guy isn't fit for an entry-level position. He's got too much talent for that. He's more of a board of directors kind of guy. What's he worth? $100,000? No. $200,000?
No.
No.
Million.
11 million. And I can't stress enough, this was not about gaining the influence of his dad. We thought his dad died in Iraq, where his brother also didn't die.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny he says that. Many times Joe Biden himself had made this huge mistake, and you could tell the level of disconnect and incoherence that's going on concerning the man. And my heart breaks for him. I feel sorry because he's just an individual for whom Jesus died, and I will never hate a man because of his current condition. However, you could tell he was so disconnected when he made reference to his son who died in Iraq, when his son died of cancer. And he said this several times. And I think, to be honest, we cannot blame Joe for all of this. I think we have to blame his handlers, because obviously there's something really wrong with Joe. I think in his younger years and stuff like that, yeah, definitely. But what do we do with Joe Biden now? Well, it's very obvious that Joe is not going to remain. He's not even going to make it to 2024. If he does make it, right, let's say, God forbid, let's just say he makes it, right? But the confidence in Joe is already being lost. I even hear people that were staunch Joe Biden supporters are now saying, enough, we are tired of it. Even the media is beginning to turn against Joe. So things are changing. Joe is not going to remain. He's not going to be the office. Now, who do we have to replace Joe? Gavin Newsom. It's almost like, yo, politics is a game. You know, it's really a game. You just got to know how to play it. Anyway, let's keep going.
People say it looks pretty suspicious paying a crack addict $11 million to be on the board of directors of an energy company who has no experience in the business and whose father is a vice president of the US. But what people don't understand is Hunter is quite the artist, and that has untold values in the energy sector in corrupt Eastern Bloc countries. Because the energy business is one part art and 0% science. Really, the less you know, the better, because knowledge just gets in the way of one's artistic vision and process.
Of course.
Early on, I bought one of Hunter's first paintings. Incredible.
Very much.
Look at this masterpiece. At only $500. Who would have thought that in just a few short years, his paintings would increase in value by over 100,000%? Hunter did this one in blood. Someone else's. When I look at it, it takes me to mystical business realms. Like, it just gives me the impression that the Ukrainian investigator who was investigating our business for fraud should be fired, or else Joe Biden's gonna withhold $1 billion of funding for Ukraine. You can see that right here in the erratic angles. I just really can't stress enough how we definitely never did any business with Joe Biden.
That makes me curious. Before we started this interview, why did you look into the camera and plead with Joe Biden?
I don't think I did that.
You've got the footage right here.
Joseph R. Biden, please, I love my wife and kids, and I promise you, if they ever take me in, I won't talk. You've got nothing to worry about.
Do you have any comments about how on March 20th, 2015...
It kind of makes sense why there is such a willingness to help Ukraine with just about everything they want when it comes to finance and the war. It's almost like they have... It's like they have something on Joe that if Joe does not help Ukraine, they can kind of come out and expose Joe and tell it like it really is. So
I'm gonna resign.
You know what I mean.
Hunter Biden organized a dinner in D.C. where his father stopped by to meet a high-level Burisma official.
Yeah, I do have something to say about that. They just indicted Trump again, and
I love it. Oh, JP, that's too much. That was good. That was good. Every time Joe gets in trouble for something, more truth comes out. Trump gets indicted. It's amazing how that works out.
This is difficult for me to say.
Now, the timing of this indictment was coordinated to take the heat off Biden. This is the third time this has happened. You ready?
Yes.
On March 17th, Hunter admitted the laptop was his. And on the very next day, Trump received word Alvin Bragg was indicting him in New York. On June 8th, an FBI document broke that Ukraine paid Biden a $5 million bribe. And the next day, on June 9th, Biden's DOJ indicts Trump on the Mar-a-Lago documents. Yesterday, on July 31st, a Biden insider told Congress that Biden spoke with Hunter Biden's business partners dozens of times, and Hunter was paid handsomely to get his dad to fire the prosecutor in Ukraine. And then today, August 1st, Biden's Justice Department indicts Trump on January 6 charges.
You can't make that up. You can't make this up. The timing is perfect.
And there will be more indictments. So I think that explains everything.
You've obviously done a good job being very convincing that Joe Biden was definitely not, under any circumstances, involved in the corrupt business dealings in Ukraine.
Thank you. The truth shall set you free. I feel like a prisoner for some reason, but it's good to set the record straight.
Do you have any final comments?
Yes, I would like Joe Biden, who I have never met in spite of what the proof shows, to know that I'm a team player, and that he and his team of hood-wearing associates with multiple passports and silencers on their guns have nothing to worry about. Honestly, I won't say anything. Please.
JP. Oh man, something really bad is going on. Something fishy is happening. Oh my goodness. Do people actually really believe? Do some of these people really believe that we weren't gonna figure this out? I mean, it's amazing how, if you look at Joe's situation and his son, it's just, there's something about the truth though. Like it always comes out and grab you and owns you. It always flexes his muscle. Like you may think you're getting away with stuff as a politician, as an individual. Actually, you're not. It's only a matter of time before you get caught. And this is like one of those examples of watching this happen is almost like, all you have to do is sit back and wait. Just wait. And that's why I say we are living in strange times, in times where there's a lot going on. And politics has always been a place where there's a lot of that double standard kind of thing. But however, I think exposing the hypocrisy is well needed today. And I love what JP did. Trump's indictments, every time Joe gets in trouble, Trump gets indicted. What are the odds? What are the odds of this happening? It's pretty amazing. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which they do in secret. Yeah. So there's been a lot of that stuff going on. God says, expose the works of darkness. Expose the evildoers. Expose them. Because the things that they do in secret is a shame. It is shameful. And they want to kill Mr. Trump. Should I say that now? They want to take down Mr. Trump by any means necessary. But they're guilty of the same sins. Guilty of the same sins. This will never make sense to me. But you know, we're just going to wait and see. Because it seems to me even the Democrats today are beginning to say we had enough of Joe. They're beginning to question Joe. And that is weird when Jay Tapper and many others are saying, is it possible? Is it possible that Joe is guilty of this and that? We have questions about this and that. That was crazy because just a few weeks ago, they were protecting his character by any means necessary. So that means they are ready for a new leader. They are ready to get rid of Joe, throw him under the bus. He's old. We are tired of him. He's done being used and abused. That empty suit, we can no longer use it. We need a new guy. Gavin Newsom. You know, this is very obvious. This is where we are going. But hey, I tell you what, don't sleep on Gavin Newsom, though. Don't sleep on him. He's no dummy. He's got the words. He's got the poise. He's got the attitude. He can talk the talk. And he's really, really woke. I think if we end up with a Gavin Newsom as a president, you think Joe was bad? You think Joe was bad? Anyway, I hope Trump wins ASAP. And that's why I'm voting for him, because we cannot afford a Gavin Newsom in our country. That will be the end of America. Forget it. Anyway, friends, like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more. Have a good one. Bye.